I'm preparing a breast of duck with Islay orange marmalade, this famous marmalade from Marion Mackinnon. She has a little secret. She puts a little whiskey in her marmalade, which makes it different and delicious. This marmalade here has a special ingredient, which is whiskey. Which type of whiskey do you use it?
I use Bruichladdich in that particular marmalade. We also use Bunnahabhain in some of the whiskies, in some of the marmalades, because we sell some to Bunnahabhain Distillery, obviously. For the heavily peated whisky marmalade, we tend to use Lagavulin. I know that Ardbeg is the heaviest peated of all the Islay malts, but having done some tests in the marmalade, the Lagavulin comes out the strongest. But that one is Bruichladdich.
So you have the heavily peated malt marmalade and the lightly peated one. All right. So I'll have a taste of that. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's gorgeous because I think what I like in this marmalade is the balance between the sweetness and the slight bitterness of the orange. And the whiskey is there. Very, very distinctive, though quite mild and delicate. And I use this marmalade a lot in my recipes. I'll do some things later on because it's marmalade is sweet, but in a sauce it just comes out with all the flavor of the whiskey and when we go to the heavily peated, and I agree with you, it's not, if you use a heavily peated malt in a marmalade, you don't have to use a very heavy peated one. It's just the mix, I don't know why, there's a magic between the citrus fruit and the whiskey. I don't know how it works, but it's really fantastic.
It does. It's very difficult to explain, but when we did all the tests and just the flavor, the different flavors in the whiskies in comparison with the oranges and the citrus flavors just burst through. You could just taste the whiskey, but some of it's can be overpowering, so you have to be careful. If people want to buy marmalade with just a hint of whiskey, then I think that's the one.
We're not only in Marion's house, but we're in the factory itself. When we talk of homemade marmalade, this is real homemade marmalade. She makes the marmalade in her house, and I can smell wonderful fragrance of oranges because she's making some. Wow, lovely. Can I taste a little?
Yes, of course.
Beautiful color, superb smell, and I like them when they're hot like that. Wow, superb, really extraordinary. I've presented them like, it's a gratin, don't know the word in English, a parsnips gratin, which is a bit sticky, should not be. It's just parsnips with parmigiani and spices, always spices. I'm quite keen on spices. They are very warm, which they must be. So this is a beautiful breast of duck, and I've put the pan back on the hob because we'll have a little sauce to go with it. Yes, so for the cooking, for some like it very pink, We tend to, in France, to cook it rather red or very pink, but I know that here in Britain they like it well cooked, so that will depend upon everybody's taste. Now this, we deglaze the pan with a mixture of Marion's marmalade and some Ardbeg, because the duck is cooked with Ardbeg Still Young, because the citrus fruit goes so well with that whiskey. It's one of the best match, citrus fruit and Ardbeg. And I've also added a little vinegar to balance the flavor, as the marmalade is sweet and we don't want it to a sweet sauce. A few onions have been slowly caramelized, very slowly, and should be all right. And a little, so we'll let it simmer for a minute while I finish cutting the duck. And of course you work with a warm plate so that your duck doesn't get cold. Here we are. We'll finish it. Just one more slice. I will take it back to the pan. Little juice here. Nice sauce. Our Ardbeg is still there. That's great. Little sauce. It would be nice to add little piece of salad or some greens. Healthy food. Well, all this is healthy, obviously, with whiskey in it. It's no problem. With this little dash, but not much, not too much Ardbeg. It's pungent, and we want to keep the orange taste. Fantastic marmalade to really envelop the duck. And you know, in France we have a canard à l'orange, so it's another version of le canard à l'orange. Now ready to eat. Okay, this is it.